I think the main thing that people have learned over the years is never invite the HR person to any party or get-together. They ruin everything. And Halloween parties are the latest things that HR people are ruining. Legal expert Javier Pérez joins us. Javier, thank you so much for your time. We sure appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
What is the problem with Halloween parties, scary situations popping up for HR?
I mean, it really is kind of the spookiest time of the year for HR professionals. When you're talking about any type of Halloween event where there are costumes involved, there's a lot of risk for people kind of pushing the envelope and flirting with the line of being offensive in one way or another. When you have a Halloween event that may involve alcohol, that's always a risk for people not remembering that they're still at work and that they have to show up to work the next day. So that's kind of the context for this, and we kind of encounter it every year.
Yeah, Javier, but what about the fact that, a Halloween party is off campus, right? It's not at your workplace, and these people, if they were invited, they chose to go. Doesn't that sort of release them from any sort of liability or consequence if something did go haywire?
It's a good question, but the law says there's not much of a distinction because it's still being sponsored by the employer, if I'm understanding the hypothetical right. It's still a company party, for example. They're providing the beverages. It's still within the context of the work. Like, if you all went out to lunch, and boss says something inappropriate, that's still kind of a company act, for example. And the fact that they're choosing to be there, sometimes people may not feel it's so optional if it is a work event.
I never go to these things anymore. They've taken all the fun out of them.
They certainly have tightened up what people do and feel comfortable doing at these sorts of things. And, some of that I'm confident is a result of lawsuits from people like me and some of my colleagues. But I think the kind of pendulum swing has come a long way from where things used to be. Back in the day, people used to be, doing things like blackface for costumes and really kind of taking a lot of risk and putting the employer in a tough spot.
I'll do the 180 on HR here for you. 2.5 years ago, I had to have I had to have a heart transplant. And if it wasn't for HR, and our wonderful young lady named Janae in HR in Atlanta, she got Ann and I through a time that was horrible. It was hard to do without her help in HR. On the other hand, you still are afraid of HR because, HR keeps track of all the bad things that you have done. And it's almost like keeping a list of, okay, we need to keep a list so we can fire this guy later on down the line. And so you have both sides of this thing that can, just plays havoc in an office.
Yeah, I think so. Human resources is a department of the employer. So one of the things that they're charged with is making sure the company's policies are being implemented in a fair way. So when you're talking about accommodating medical leave or maybe short-term disability benefits, they really are the experts in that area because they are the ones that are handling the rules of the road. They're at work. But I do see where people might feel sort of untrusting of HR because they're the ones that are going to be keeping track of your write-ups, your performance evaluations, and that sort of thing in your file. And when some people do need to get let go, or discipline, HR is almost certainly involved. So, it comes with the good and the bad.
Javier Pérez, thank you so much for coming on this morning. We sure appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.